In the heart of ancient civilization, one empire rose to unmatched heights, only to crumble under the weight of its own ambition. This is the story of Rome, a testament to human ingenuity and a cautionary tale of hubris. Our journey begins in the 8th century BC, where myth and history intertwine. Legend tells of Romulus and Remus, twin brothers raised by a she-wolf, embodying the fierce spirit of a burgeoning city. Rome was founded on the Palatine Hill, overlooking the Tiber River, a strategic location that would become a cradle for a future empire. Early settlements flourished, driven by agriculture and trade, as communities banded together for protection and prosperity. This setting was not merely a backdrop. It was a living tapestry woven with the hopes and dreams of its inhabitants. The Etruscans, a neighboring civilization, played a crucial role in shaping Rome's early governance and culture, introducing the concepts of urban planning and monumental architecture. Temples and forums began to rise, symbols of civic pride and religious fervor. As Rome grew, so did its ambitions, laying the groundwork for a republic that would challenge the world. In 509 BC, a monumental shift occurred as the last king of Rome was overthrown, marking the birth of the Roman Republic. This new governance was revolutionary, empowering citizens to have a voice in political matters. The Senate became the heart of Rome's political life, a place where debates echoed through marble halls. The struggle between the patricians, the aristocratic elite, and the plebeians, the common people, defined this era. It was a time of social upheaval, with the plebeians demanding rights and representation. The conflict of the orders unfolded, a series of political battles that ultimately led to the creation of the office of the tribune, a safeguard against tyranny. The Republic was characterized by its resilience and adaptability, laying the foundations for a legal system that would influence the world for centuries to come. Yet, beneath the surface, discontent brewed, and ambitions of power began to rise, foreshadowing the challenges ahead for this fragile democracy. As the Republic solidified its power, it turned its gaze outward. The Punic Wars against Carthage, a formidable rival, marked a defining chapter in Roman history. The First Punic War erupted in 264 BC, driven by a struggle for control over Sicily. It was a brutal conflict, with both sides suffering heavy losses. However, Rome's ingenuity led to a remarkable naval strategy. They constructed ships and developed the corvus, a boarding device that allowed them to turn naval battles into hand-to-hand combat, a domain where they excelled. The victory in the Second Punic War, led by the legendary General Hannibal, proved to be a significant turning point. Despite Hannibal's initial triumphs, including his daring crossing of the Alps, Rome responded with resilience, culminating in the decisive Battle of Zama in 202 BC. These wars not only expanded Rome's territory, but also brought vast wealth and resources, paving the way for further conquests and the eventual transformation into a dominant empire. Yet, with victory came the seeds of discord, as the spoils of war created inequality among the citizens. The 1st century BC saw the emergence of a man whose name would become synonymous with power, Julius Caesar. Rising through the military ranks, he showcased brilliant strategies that expanded Rome's reach into Gaul, garnering immense popularity. His conquest of Gaul was marked by audacious campaigns, as chronicled in his own writings, Commentarii de Bello Gallico. Yet, as his fame grew, so did tensions with the Senate. His crossing of the Rubicon River in 49 BC symbolized a point of no return, declaring war against the Republic itself. The phrase Alia iacta est, the die is cast, echoed through history as he marched towards Rome, igniting a civil war. The resulting conflict ended with Caesar emerging as the unrivaled leader, yet his accumulation of power alarmed many. In 44 BC, the very Senate that once lauded him conspired against him, leading to his assassination on the Ides of March. His death set off a chain of events that would plunge Rome into chaos, but it also ignited a legacy that would transform the Republic into an empire. The aftermath of Caesar's assassination plunged Rome into a power struggle. Enter Octavian, Caesar's adopted heir, later known as Augustus. Through a series of political maneuvers and alliances, he emerged victorious against rivals like Mark Antony and Cleopatra. The Battle of Actium in 31 BC was a pivotal moment, where naval forces clashed in a fierce confrontation. With Augustus' triumph, the Roman Republic transitioned into the Roman Empire, marking the dawn of an era characterized by stability and prosperity known as the Pax Romana. Augustus implemented reforms that solidified imperial power, including a new tax system and military structure. He initiated a golden age of literature and culture, with poets like Virgil and Horace flourishing under his patronage. However, as the empire expanded, so did its challenges. The vast territories required effective governance, and the balance of power remained a constant struggle as ambitious leaders sought to capitalize on their newfound authority. Under the reign of Augustus and his successors, Rome entered a golden age. The empire expanded to its greatest territorial extent, spanning Europe, North Africa, and parts of the Middle East. This era was marked by monumental architecture, with structures like the Colosseum and the Pantheon symbolizing Roman ingenuity and engineering prowess. Public works flourished, including aqueducts that supplied water to urban centers and roads that facilitated trade and military movements. The arts thrived, with literature and philosophy reaching unprecedented heights. The legacy of Rome's culture would influence future civilizations for centuries. However, the very prosperity that defined this golden age also sowed the seeds of discontent. The disparities between the wealthy elite and the impoverished masses deepened, creating social tensions. The empire's reliance on slave labor further exacerbated these issues, as the economy grew increasingly dependent on exploitation. As the empire reached its zenith, cracks began to appear. The crisis of the 3rd century unleashed a series of military, political, and economic challenges. A staggering 26 emperors reigned in just 50 years, many meeting violent ends. The empire faced barbarian invasions from the north, while internal strife weakened its structure. Economic turmoil ensued, marked by rampant inflation and a decline in trade. Cities that once thrived became shadows of their former selves. The division of the empire into the Eastern and Western Roman empires became inevitable, as the sheer size of the territory proved unwieldy. Amidst this chaos, the fervor of Christianity began to spread, challenging the traditional pagan beliefs that had dominated for centuries. The empire's identity was in flux as emperors struggled to maintain control in a rapidly changing world. Amidst the turmoil, Emperor Constantine emerged as a pivotal figure. In 313 AD, he enacted the Edict of Milan, granting religious tolerance to Christians. This marked a significant turning point, as Christianity transitioned from a persecuted faith to a dominant religion within the empire. Constantine's vision extended beyond tolerance. He established Constantinople, a new capital that would become a center of commerce, culture, and Christianity. His reign fostered a unique blend of pagan and Christian traditions, symbolized by the construction of the Hagia Sophia. However, this shift also initiated conflicts, as traditionalists grappled with the changing landscape of Roman identity. The Council of Nicaea convened in 325 AD to address theological disputes, illustrating the complexities of a transforming empire. The seeds of division were sown, as different factions within Christianity emerged, setting the stage for future conflicts that would challenge the unity of the empire. Despite the rise of Christianity and a new capital in the East, the Western Roman Empire faced insurmountable challenges. By the late 5th century, barbarian tribes, including the Visigoths and Vandals, launched devastating attacks, culminating in the sack of Rome in 410 AD. The traditional image of Rome as an invincible power was shattered. As internal strife continued to weaken the empire, the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed in 476 AD, marking the conventional date for the fall of the Western Roman Empire. This event signified not just the end of an era but the fragmentation of a once mighty civilization into numerous kingdoms, heralding the onset of the Middle Ages. The decline was not merely a product of external invasions. It was a complex interplay of social, political, and economic factors that unraveled the fabric of Roman society. The legacy of Rome extends far beyond its fall. The Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantine Empire, continued to thrive for nearly 1,000 years after the fall of the West, preserving much of Roman law, culture, and governance. The Latin language evolved into the Romance languages, influencing literature and communication. Roman architecture and engineering principles set the foundation for modern cities, while legal systems derived from Roman law continue to shape societies today. The ideals of republicanism and citizenship sparked movements for democracy, echoing through history. Moreover, the spread of Christianity, once a marginalized faith, became a cornerstone of Western civilization. The lessons of Rome's rise and fall serve as a reminder of the fragility of power and the cyclical nature of history, urging future generations to reflect on the past as they forge their paths. As we conclude our exploration of the rise and fall of Rome, we are left with poignant reflections on power, ambition, and resilience. The story of Rome is one of triumph and tragedy, of individuals who shaped the course of history through their actions. From the foundations laid by Romulus to the grand visions of Augustus and the turmoil of the 3rd century, we see a civilization that thrived on innovation and adaptability. Yet, it also serves as a cautionary tale. The very traits that led to its monumental success, ambition and expansion, also contributed to its downfall. In the echoing halls of history, Rome whispers lessons about the balance of power, the importance of unity, and the need for vigilant governance. As we reflect on this vast tapestry of human experience, we must ask ourselves, what will we learn from the past to secure a brighter future? Rome's influence is palpable in modern society, permeating various aspects of culture, governance, and architecture. The principles of Roman law have laid the groundwork for legal systems worldwide, establishing concepts of justice and civil rights. Architecturally, iconic structures like the Pantheon inspire modern designs, blending aesthetics with functionality. The Roman model of governance, emphasizing checks and balances, continues to inform democratic systems globally. Even the Latin language, though evolved, still echoes in scientific terminology, medicine, and law. As we traverse the bustling streets of contemporary cities, remnants of Roman engineering can be seen in aqueducts and roads that have stood the test of time. The Renaissance, fueled by a rediscovery of Roman art and philosophy, further solidified Rome's enduring legacy. In the annals of history, the empire that once spanned continents remains a beacon of human achievement and inspiration. The legacy of Rome thrives not only in history books, but also in popular culture. Films like Gladiator and series such as Rome have captivated audiences, bringing the grandeur and drama of the empire to life. These portrayals, while dramatized, spark interest in the complexities of Roman society, its political intrigue, and the everyday lives of its citizens. Video games and literature continue to explore themes of empire, power, and rebellion, allowing new generations to engage with Rome's rich tapestry. Museums around the world house artifacts that tell the stories of emperors and ordinary citizens alike, bridging the gap between the ancient and modern. The fascination with Rome serves as a reminder of the enduring power of storytelling and its ability to connect us with our shared past. As we immerse ourselves in these narratives, we rediscover the lessons embedded in the rise and fall of one of history's greatest empires. As we reflect on the fall of Rome, we uncover invaluable lessons for contemporary society. The empire's decline was not an overnight event. It was a culmination of years of neglect, political strife, and social inequality. The focus on expansion often eclipsed the need for internal cohesion and governance. Today, as we navigate our interconnected world, the dangers of division and unrest echo the challenges faced by Rome. The need for inclusive leadership, civic responsibility, and sustainable practices remains as relevant as ever. The environmental degradation that accompanied Roman expansion serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked ambition. It is imperative to learn from the past, to foster unity amidst diversity, and to prioritize the well-being of our communities. In doing so, we honor the legacy of Rome, not as a distant civilization in history, but as a mirror reflecting our own journey. As we conclude our exploration of the lost empire of Rome, let us remember that history is not merely a series of events. It is a narrative woven from the threads of human experience. The rise and fall of Rome encapsulate the essence of ambition, resilience, and the complexities of power. Each emperor, soldier, and Citizen played a role in shaping a civilization that has left an indelible mark on our world. The ruins that stand today are not just remnants of stone and marble. They are silent witnesses to a story of greatness and downfall. As we reflect on the lessons learned from this ancient empire, we are reminded of our responsibility to shape the future with wisdom and foresight. We invite you to delve deeper into the annals of history, to explore the stories that have shaped our existence. If you found this journey insightful, please like and subscribe for more explorations into the past.